Welcome back to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage, everyone. This is the latest Singer 201 on my bench. It is getting ready to be completed. I am saving the best for last and wanted to talk to you all again. I think I've mentioned this before. I showed a machine, another machine that was in rougher shape, on how to bring back paint finishes without destroying them. And this, again, I just wanted to emphasize, I've shown things like hand cleaners, non-pumice, that's non-pumice hand cleaners, that I've shown that I could use on sewing machines before. And there are a lot of vintage sewing machine finishes, lots of colors and paints particularly from the 50s and 60s. But for the older machines that have the black painting system with the decals and the clear lacquer over them, I always want to emphasize that I really have never found anything that works better and more safely than sewing machine oil. So again, you guys can see me. I can take, I'm not getting that metal on the finish. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to just rub in the sewing machine oil that I've sort of dripped onto the surface there, just with my finger, and being gentle, not rough. I'm not putting a rag on there yet because I don't want to soak up the oil I just put on. You can let this oil sit for, you can put it on and let it sit for a few minutes, see what it pulls off. You can let it sit for a few hours. Some people let it sit overnight. What it does is it will gently soften any soiling or old oil, and it's a very gentle solvent. So, and I've already, like I say, I've already gone over this one. And then I just buff it out. I take a cotton cloth. I no longer use cotton balls because they shed like a hairy dog. But anyway, I take a soft cotton cloth. This is a sample I was using to do test stitching on. And I buff out the oil and soak it up. And as I do, that oil pulls out some of the soiling. Now, this is not a fast method. If you have, this machine was not very soiled to begin with. It had some, as almost all of them do. But no, this is actually a process that does take longer, but it's more gentle. If you use harsh cleaners, you're going to damage and potentially ruin your finish. And that would be a real shame. Cleaners, a lot of them have a different pH, and they will turn your gold decal silver. They will strip, sometimes literally strip the clear lacquer above. So again, I know it can be, it can take a while, but using the oil is your safest method and your safest bet, especially on your black decal clear-coated sewing machines that are vintage. One thing to say though, and there's one exception to this, and I'm going to zoom in on this because I really want to emphasize it. I have only found one place on a vintage machine that I cannot even use sewing machine oil. Even oil is too, apparently it has cleaning properties, and it can actually remove some of that gorgeous blue ink. This is not a porcelain fired thing. When Singer created their Centennial badge, or any of their commemorative badges, some of them have red rings, some have green rings for things that celebrated world fairs, etc. But no matter which one it is, if it's a commemorative badge and it's not just a solid brass badge, I would not use anything. The solid brass badges, some people put metal polish, although that can be difficult to clean off. Or they will use some kind of cleaner or sometimes just oil to clean the badge. But with the Centennial badge, I have found that cleaners and even sewing machine oil, guys, it will start to destabilize this blue, what may be some sort of blue inking. I don't know what was used. Whatever it is, I highly recommend you don't use anything. If you have dust on here, you can take a cotton swab and a dry cotton swab and gently remove the dust, and that's it. I know sometimes you want to get it brighter, you want to make it look, more, like factory new, but be very careful because the Centennial badge is not a functional thing. These machines work just the same as any other 201, but it's part of the value and the history of your machine, and be ashamed to hurt that and ruin it. The other thing to show you guys is, of course, you should not be surprised to see me with cotton swabs in my hand. When you're doing using the process I was showing you guys with the oil, one of the things you can also do is you can use the cotton swab to either put oil on it to bring oil in here, and you can also take the dry end and when you're cleaning the machine up, and you'll be able to get more of the soiling and old oil and dust out of the little groove areas that you might not get a little soft rag in. So there you go, just a little quick video on why I really believe that Singer, or not just Singer, vintage machines really shine, not to make a pun, when you simply use sewing machine oil. And again, you don't want to leave excess oil on here, because if you do, it's going to get in your projects. And obviously you want to buff this off with a soft cotton cloth that's going to absorb excess oil, and it will really feed the paint. You'll have a much better looking machine and you won't hurt it. And aesthetics matter. So thanks for watching, folks, and stay tuned for the next video.